Hey, good morning. Morning and welcome to the Hampton Bays Public Schools and our 57th monthly Veterans Flag Ceremony. My name is Christopher Richard and I am the principal of Hampton Bays High School, and it is my honor to serve as our host for this morning's program. Please stand as the American Legion and the Hand Aldrich Post number 924 presents the colors.
Rifleman, right shoulder on. Forward, march. Man, salute. Detail, halt. Left or right face. Present, arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Keegan Schneider from the class of 2018 will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, arm. Flagman, post colors. Left or right face. Forward, march.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the Hampton Bays High School Select Choir, led by Miss Deborah Liso. Welcome to Hampton Bays Elementary School. Welcome to our 57th Veterans Flag Ceremony. I'd like to begin by asking everybody today to begin with a moment of silence for the victims and the families, the community in Parkland, Florida this week. Thank you. Events like this bring community together, and we know that in tragedies like the one Parkland is experiencing and the United States is experiencing today, that community is what is the positive force for evil, for tragedy, and after tragedy as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for continually being here. 57 times now since November 2011. It's our way to come together as a community, make new connections, honor neighbors who, as we've said before, shop with us at King Cullen and go to the post office and the movie theater and Ponquag Beach. It's a way to bring the classroom alive, make it a living classroom for our students. And today, our program is hosted by Hampton Bays High School. So we'd like to, of course, thank Hampton Bays Elementary School for always being our host and hosting our Veterans Flagpole, which recently had an upgrade. So we'll go out to the Veterans Flagpole after today's ceremony, and we'll see a beautiful plaque, the Veterans Flagpole, which was dedicated by the American Legion after, I think it was 2016. We had a blizzard. Blizzard knocked over that old iron pole, snapped right in half, and the Legion helped us get a new beautiful pole there for our ceremonies and for every day flying the flag. Just this month, we had a plaque affixed to the pole in honor of John Victor Kuchar. John was a class of 1968 Hampton Bays student, I think 68. It says it on the plaque, but nevertheless went to Vietnam before he graduated from Hampton Bays High School, which at that time was in this building. Lee, you remember that, right? He left to go fight in Vietnam before he graduated. He came home, he went back for a second tour, and he died from injury sustained in action in January of 1969. So forever now at Veterans Flagpole, John Victor Kuchar will be remembered as a Hampton Bays hero. So we thank the Legion again. Good morning to our Legionnaires, our VFW post in West Hampton Beach. Members of our Board of Education, welcome you always to our building. Members of government, we have our town supervisor here, Jay Schneiderman, who is an advocate and always present at these ceremonies, and we thank you. Members of our emergency services are present as well. They may be in plain clothes, but they're always our first responders in the community: police, fire, ambulance, and our active military. Today we'll present the flag that's flown proudly over the elementary school for the last month to our friend Antonio Gill Sr. And today we'll meet a new friend, Tom Gately. Today's flag ceremony, as we get into it, will be a little bit different. Usually I present the flag to the American Legion to conduct the formal flag ceremony. But we have three young men with us today, and they're here for a very special reason. You met Keegan already, so I'd like to call Keegan back up, along with his classmates in the class of 2018, Shane Ryson and Jordan Phillips. Come on up with me, please. This is Keegan, and this is Shane, and this is Jordan, all members of the class of 2018. Each of them will graduate in June, and each of them have their next step set. They've committed to the United States military. Jordan will enlist in the United States Navy, and Keegan and Shane are headed to the United States Army. Can we recognize these young men for the commitment? We felt that including these young men in today's ceremony was a real symbol of the continuum of commitment. We have young men headed into service, and we have men and women who join us every month who have served and continue to serve their community. So with that, we will begin our formal flag ceremony, and I will ask Shane to present the flag honoring Mr. Antonio Gill. Yeah.
Commander, will you please accept this flag on behalf of Antonio Gill to be presented to him at a later date? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Jordan will present today's flag to the Legion in honor of Mr. Thomas Gately.
I present to you this flag, which will be flown on the Veterans Flagpole in your name for your honor in serving your country and your community. Congratulations, sir.
We're very proud of these young men, and we thank you for the commitment that you're about to make. But first, you have to finish government and English and PE and graduate. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. I see Commander Billy Hughes is with us. Thank you for being here, Commander. Every month or throughout the year, we try to recognize some of our best writers and speakers. At the middle school level, you've met our best writers who have been selected as winners of the Patriots Pen Essay Contest. That's a national contest. And when we have our high school host, we get to hear from our writers who also have an oratory piece. They have to write a piece that's chosen by the VFW nationally, and then they have to record it and speak. And they're graded on that. And these are our winners from Hampton Bays who you've heard tonight, or today. I'm getting ahead of myself. Today, speaking about her perspective on our hope for the future. It's a timely topic this week. And as we see our young men today and meet them, Jennifer Reyes from the class of 2018. So let's welcome Jennifer so we can hear her winning essay.
Hello. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thus far, in my not-so-long-lived life, I have pledged to the American flag. For a substantial period, these words had no significant meaning. I didn't understand. Little did I know that these words were going to alter my viewpoints by propelling within me a hope for the future, hope for creativity. Unambiguously, the United States of America offers hope for the future by permitting liberty for all Americans to create, the ability to generate a culture from scratch, and then to promote that culture. That's something. These entrepreneurs are our hope for the future. The producers of culture are ever so abiding of mass memory than constituents of high legislature. The makers of culture are my hope for the future. They shape their generation substantially in comparison to elected members of parliament. They are a representation of the United States and all its gloriousness. Vince Cerf and Robert E. Kahn are adequate examples of American pioneers. They created a global network connecting many communities, in essence, the whole world. They built a system of bits and bytes. That system prompted many other developed systems, such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. When I put a hand over my heart and pledge to the American flag, I'm pledging for the opportunities that all Americans have the ability to create. I'm pledging for their dreams and aspirations. My hope for the future is not limited to creators like Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, or Jod Karim. My hope for the future is that these Americans will inspire more Americans, and then those Americans will inspire even more Americans, and so forth. America will ultimately be appreciative that we do not take these offered opportunities for granted, that instead we utilize them to change the world with passion and purpose, and in turn we give her unique theorists, inventors, and critics, that we value all kinds of pioneers, whether they be an astronomical scientist or a teenager creating an app. This is my hope for the future, that whilst we have the choice to choose our path, we choose one that adds depth to our lives. Because it's these American contributors that create culture, even if the path to get there is rather deserted and lone. Because it's these Americans who are fundamental patrons to our community's history and future. Because it's my America that allows me to even have a hope for the future. Thank you so much.
You picked another good winner. Thank you. As we say each month, our elected officials are our friends. They tell the Hampton Bays story, they support our Hampton Bays students, and most importantly, they get to know our Hampton Bays students and the members of our community. We have our town supervisor with us, who has, since his days in the legislature in the county, has been an advocate of this program. So I'd like to welcome Town Supervisor Jay Schneiderman to the microphone.
Thank you, Lars. Always a pleasure to be here. long before being supervisor, I actually was in education myself. I was a science teacher. And as a teacher, you're always thinking about, like, what things do you teach your kids and how do you convey that information? And I have to say, like, I wish every school did this. I wish every school did this, because learning about service, about people who have made sacrifices, who have served their nation honorably, and doing it in this kind of multi-dimensional way where kids, do their research, they do writings, they do oral presentations. It's really a testament to the Hampton Bays School and the work that's happening here under Lars's direction. Every school should do this. Those words that Jennifer Reyes, who just spoke, there you are. It was inspirational words really about inspiration and how the acts of certain people inspire other people. And I think that these ceremonies here have that component, that inspirational component, so that people want to serve. And you are seeing that today with these three gentlemen who have enlisted, great young men who are going to serve our nation. We learn about all these other people, many of them who graduated Hampton Bays, who have gone on to serve our country with great distinction. So I know your futures are bright as well. That is a big deal. It's a big deal to enlist, right? Not only are you saying that's just, the next years of my life are going to be dedicated, but you don't know what you'll be asked to do. And we've heard many stories of bravery here, of great valor. Yesterday, the town swore in 4 new police officers. And oftentimes the town police are, we have representatives here. I don't know if we do today. I don't see them. But they often come to these ceremonies. And 4 individuals just became part of our police department. And when I gave my remarks yesterday, it was really just the day after the terrible tragedy that Superintendent Clemenson spoke of in South Florida. You just don't know what that day holds. You just don't know. And what you'll be called to do. In that case, law enforcement rushing into a building that might have an active shooter. And we, of course, at the town, we do our best to prevent those things. We work with schools here. And I was working with our police chief, Skrnicki, yesterday on some new technologies to assist us. But my point is that you're making a big decision. You're making a big decision to put your life on the line for this great nation. And, Jennifer talked about what this nation means to her. That pledge that you read, that liberty and justice for all, those are high ideals. Those are, they're worth dying for. And not everybody gets to live in places where they can say what they want, like I can come up here and say what they want or believe as they wish. So we depend on people like the three of you to defend those freedoms, and schools like Hampton Bays to educate us to appreciate those freedoms, and that's something that certainly Hampton Bays does. So today I'm here on behalf of the town to honor Thomas Gately. We've named today Thomas Gately Day in your honor. You have served the country honorably, and I have a proclamation. I don't know if we get to hear as much today about the individuals. You going to? All right, so I'll skip that part of the proclamation that talks about your history. You not only serve the nation, but you serve your community. You are so many different things, from the Hibernians to Knights of Columbus, American Legion, on and on and on. So many ways that you've served. So I proudly declare today Thomas Gately Day in the town of Southampton. This is signed by myself as your town supervisor, also Councilman Bouvier, Councilman Lofstad, Councilman Tommy John Scavone, and Councilwoman Scalera. So you have all 5 of us here. Thank you again for your service.
In addition to Thomas Gately Day, you might be able to write some laws or pass some decrees of your own. So if anyone has any suggestions or requests, see Tom afterwards. In addition, Senator Laval, who is up in the legislature today in Albany, sends his regards. And on behalf of the 1st Senatorial District, which is Eastern Long Island, he extends his sincere appreciation and best wishes as well, and hopes that all the good he's done be returned to him tenfold. So we have a certificate as well for you. And I imagine our Suffolk County legislator, Bridget Fleming, is also engaged in hop hog, and we have a special certificate for you as well, or proclamation.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Mr. Gately. I am very fascinated by your bio. First of all, my sister and my dad are both Navy veterans, and my sister actually graduated from Great Lakes boot camp. So thank you much for your service. Let me first apologize for the legislator not being here. There was an emergency meeting in Hopog she had to attend, so terribly sorry about that. She would have loved to be here. Thank you so much for your service and all that you do for this country. And thank you so much, most of all, for that fine piece of architectural design, which is the Verrazano Bridge, and of course the late World Trade Center which we lost, to most unfortunate and unseen accidents of terrorism. So I'd first like to say thanks for all that you do. Those three young men that were here are, an example of the good things that you have done, both in the service and here at home. You are a true patriot. Thank you much for your work and everything that you do. So on behalf of the legislature and the 2nd Legislative District, I have a proclamation to give to you from the legislator, Bridget Fleming. So thank you much for your service.
I'm going to call upon Jordan Phillips again to join us at the podium to introduce you now to Tom Gately.
Today, the Hampton Bays Public Schools honors Thomas Gately, or Tommy as he's known. Tommy was born in 1941 in the South Bronx and moved to the East Bronx in 1954 when he was 13. His early education was parochial, and he attended St. Raymond's Grammar School, from which he graduated in 1955. And he then attended St. Nicholas of Tullantine High School, from which he graduated in 1959. Later education was all hands-on. 1 month after graduation from St. Nicholas, he enlisted and began 14 weeks of boot camp at the Naval Station Great Lakes, NAVSTA Great Lakes, also known as Camp Barry, just north of Chicago. After boot camp, he requested destroyer duty and was assigned to the Charles Roane DD-853. On 31st March 1960, the Roane participated in a key Middle East force cruising the Mediterranean, Red Sea, and Persian Gulf. After that, she became an engineering school ship until July of 1961, when she went through modernization at the New York Naval Shipyard, with upgrades completed in June 1962. After refit and sea training in Guantanamo Bay, the Roane was assigned to the Cuban quarantine in response to our first nuclear crisis. A Soviet weapon facility had been discovered on Cuba in October of 1962, and President John F. Kennedy ordered the quarantine in retaliation. Tommy was a bosun's mate on the Roane and had a high security level clearance. On board, his primary responsibility was supervising deck maintenance activities, painting, upkeep of rigging, and deck equipment. He ensured the Roane's boats were operational and in good condition. He served his time honorably and was discharged in 1963. For Tommy, the Navy was only the beginning. After discharge, he went to welding school for the next 2 years and joined Ironworker Local 15, the operating engineers. With them, he worked on foundations and tunnels for bridges and buildings. Major projects with Local 15 included the Verrazano Bridge, the World Trade Center, and the Welfare Island Tunnel. The Verrazano Bridge is a 4,260-foot long span with 693-foot towers. It opened in 1964 and connects Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn to Fort Wadsworth, Staten Island. The structure is huge, with 27,000-ton towers held together with over 3 million rivets and over 1 million bolts. After the Verrazano, he worked for 3 years on the North Tower of the World Trade Center, which was destroyed in the terrorist attacks of September 2001. He then worked on the Welfare Island Tunnel, working side by side with sand hogs, doing welding and burning on the tunnel digging machines, the big borers. The rock tunnel under Welfare Island joins a 750-foot steel tube under the East River and reaches from East 63rd Street in Manhattan to Vernon Boulevard at 41st Avenue in Long Island City. In total, Tommy spent 33 years as an iron worker and operating engineer for the city of New York. He married Rosie Doyle in 1975, came out to Hampton Bays, and in 1983 built the house he still lives in today. He joined the Legion in 1988 and is also an active member of the Ancient Order of Hibernians and the Knights of Columbus. We honor Tom Gately today for his service in the Navy and for his long career spent constructing major New York landmarks. The Hampton Bays Public School thanks Tom for his service to our country and proudly honors his service by flying a flag in honor for the month at the Hampton Bays Elementary School.
Did you get it right, Tommy? You got it right. Thank you, Jordan. To say that Jordan has the military on the brain is an understatement, because if you'd like to see him as Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music on the 23rd of March, 24th, and the 25th as well, you won't want to miss the show at Hampton Bays High School. We have a special musical selection today. I'm going to call back Mrs. Liso to the podium, or to the risers, with her Hampton Bays High School Select Choir to perform a special selection for you as we wind down our ceremony today.
Today we're going to perform for you an old swing tune called This Joint is Jumpin'. It's actually performed by Fats Waller in 1941 when you were born. So, we hope you enjoy it.
Jumping.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Liso. Before we end, I jumped the program. When the kids sing, I just always try to get to that, but we have a very special presentation. Our new commander to the post this year, who has committed to continuing this important tradition and has many important goals of his own as our new commander. I'd like to welcome Chris Ramos to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Ramos, the new Post Commander 924 Hampton Bays. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Tommy. Congratulations on being the 57th recipient of the flag-raising ceremonies in Hampton Bays schools. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the faculty, the students, the administrators, and everybody who participates in these services once a month. It is a fantastic ordeal that you guys do, and it should be nationwide. At this time, our post would like to honor a special person. Lars Clemenson, can you join me at the podium? Rick Robinson, our first Vice Commander, could you join Lars Clemenson on his left? Lars, you have been an extremely important person to this program for 57 months. I am very, very honored to meet you. To show our appreciation to Lars Clemenson for his tireless devotion, dedication, and leadership to all our veterans in our community with his great flag-raising ceremonies, our Post 924 would like to present to you this plaque as a symbol of our appreciation for all that you have done. That's not all. You guys have proclamations? We have proclamations too. We would also like to give you this certificate and a Medal of Merit from the American Legion National Headquarters to a civilian for your continuous support towards our local veterans. This is your presentation. Now, it's dated December 8th, because that's when we were supposed to give it to Lars, but he was in Albany for the next 2 months. So this is also for you.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you would like to take the time right now, Rick, our first Vice Commander, has a civilian pin, a ribbon that we'd like to adhere to your $300 suit, if it's, if it's okay.
Don't tell my wife.
Go ahead,
Thank
Rick.
you.
If you want me to hold that.
Thank you. Wow.
You go, Lars. Thank you, Hampton Bays School District. Lars, do you have anything to say?
You must follow me on Facebook. Thank you. I mean, thank you. Mr. Moran asked me to put special presentation in here, and I didn't think twice about it, and I'm honored, I'm humbled. This is I accept this plaque. I accept it on behalf of the leadership team, Chris, John, Mark, Diane, Eric, the folks you see, the students, because they tell the stories for the veterans. So I'm just the guy with the keys and the microphone that gets to turn it on and make it happen. So thank you so much. I'm honored and humbled.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lars.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Tommy. Whether it's raining or not, we have some umbrellas, but as we close down today, we're going to head out to Veterans Flagpole, and after we raise the flag, please make sure to take notice of John Victor Kucher's acknowledgement there. The flag's going to be raised to half-mast today because of the tragic events in Florida. So the flag will remain by order of the governor and by order of the President of the United States at half-mast until sunset on Monday, February 19th. So we always put that on our website because as you drive by our schools and you see that, It's important that we know why and we know who is being remembered by such an important declaration. So you can always click that flag and see not only the bios of our friends, but why the flag is at half-mast. So I invite you outside to Veterans Flagpole, but before doing so, thank you to our students, thank you to our guests today, and I'll call upon the Legion to retire the colors. Please stand.
Detail, halt. Left or right face. Flagmen, retrieve colors. Left or right face. Forward, march. And salute.
Thank you for being here. You all are dismissed as well.
Oh, Eileen. Yeah. Or down. Oh, down. Oh, yeah. Hold up, Sarge. Okay, I got you. What else is new? Good to go. Here he is. No, go ahead. We're definitely going to win. Bring it all the way to the top. Color guard, a tan hood, present, on. Order, on.